Hello!
Hello out there. This is Tom. I said Captain Tom.
And welcome back to the Tom and Jerry Experience. I'm Sailor Jerry. How you doing, Captain Tom?
I'm doing fine. I'm
Good,
hanging in
good.
there. I'm glad that baseball season's
Yeah.
getting going.
Got some preseason, man. I was watching. I think I was over here, right at your house. It was like some high scoring, like football games, with the high score that they had.
The Yankees yesterday won like 20-3 over somebody, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
this is spring training, people.
And how about those Olympics? Team USA hockey, both men. Hey, everybody, ready? USA,
Hey,
USA,
USA.
USA. Hey, this is great. And if I'm not mistaken, they both won in overtime. I mean, how exciting. I believe the men's hockey first time since 1980.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
when we had that. They called it the Miracle
Yeah.
team.
That's awesome.
Al Michaels was with ABC.
Wow. I didn't know that.
And playing, commentating the game because
Nice.
I watched it. I watched it on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you believe in miracles?" Because what they did was
that's awesome.
They were, I think they were playing the Russians.
I think you're right. Yes. And that was like a big deal back then. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations, Team USA Hockey, right? Both men and women taking the gold.
And Team USA, anybody that's won. I mean,
well, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, we're not top dog in medal getting apparently,
right.
but hey,
right.
and it's in a foreign language,
some of those things that the athletes do is just amazing. So this is going to be a fun conversation, I feel.
Okay. We always have fun conversations.
Well, this is true. Yeah, fun for us anyway. So in our previous episode, I believe it was our previous episode, we were talking a little bit about some of the things you and I did back in the day, and we were talking about going to Kings Island, how we used to go there periodically, and we had some stories and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went out on the interwebs. Oh, wait, before we go any further, this just in, we have a dad joke.
Oh no.
We have a dad joke. This person has previously contributed.
CJ, do we got the soundtrack?
we don't have to.
I'm just asking.
Hold on a minute. So this was submitted. Barb submitted this. So previous contributor Barb. All right, are you ready for this? This just in. Dad joke of the day, of the week, whatever.
Of the show.
All right, here we go. If your house is cold, hey, this is perfect for today because, man, Cincinnati is like a roller coaster when it comes to the weather, man. Like a week ago, it's in the 60s. Now we got like snow flurries.
It was near 70, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like now we're near
all right, so here's
35.
Correct. So here's the joke. If your house is cold this morning, stand in a corner. It's 90 degrees there.
Oh, Lord.
I enjoyed that. Thank you, Barb, for contributing. We greatly appreciate it. Are we hearing the crickets? All right.
I had to do something. That was a cute joke, Barb. Cute joke.
So back to front row parking, our segment that we like to do, front row parking. Right. I went out on the interwebs and I asked everybody, hey, share with us, right, your favorite memories or your memories of Kings Island. And a lot of this, we have some of our fans, if you will, live in different parts of the country, okay? But, those fans that live here kind of close to Cincinnati area, they knew what I was talking about.
Right.
So, again, the question was put out there, hey, share with us some of your favorite memories of Kings Island.
Right.
And then, so tell us, what do you got there, Captain Tom? What's the first one you got?
Well, the first one I have is from Nancy. She's a previous contributor.
Sure, yeah, she contributes. Yeah.
But she's got two different things here.
Okay.
The first one, she says, my memories are of Coney Island.
Okay.
Now, for those that don't know, we had a place called Coney Island that then they, in the 70s, made Kings Island.
Sure.
Because Coney Island, the rides were getting bad or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
And they just recently, and it hurts my soul to say this, they recently just took it all down to make we're going to have a new venue where they'll have concerts,
and stuff.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But Coney Island was made, believe it or not, in the 1800s.
Oh yeah, it was around,
and that's why I didn't understand why they destroyed it. But she said her memories are of Coney Island, and then she had one talking about Kings Island.
Okay.
It says taking 80 kids on AAA Day.
Oh, jeez.
Checking for any lost kids every hour at the Eiffel Tower. Now, for those who don't know,
Jeepers.
Kings Island has a 1/3 scale
Right,
model of the
Yeah.
actual Eiffel Tower in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And she goes on. Then so glad when they all show up.
Right.
We can leave at 7 p.m. Long day. Lots of kids had fun.
Oh man, that had to be stressful. All right, so yeah, because so back to what you're saying about the Eiffel. The Eiffel Tower was typically kind of like a meeting point.
Pretty much is,
yeah, because it was like the tallest thing you could see, and it was a focal point of the park. So yeah, even when I was a kid, a teenager, that was like, hey, meet at the Eiffel Tower, at certain times.
And if you go up to the top of it,
you're right,
you can see everywhere.
Oh yeah,
for miles.
Yeah, and I have a story that's going to tie in about that here in a little bit. But give me 1 second here. All right, so Bill, he's contributed in the past. Bill says the original log flume was by far the best. He feels that the train ride, when they actually had actors. So there's a train ride that goes to the park, and they actually had actors, as cowboys and stuff like that.
Yes, I remember that.
Now he also mentions the Enchanted Voyage ride. Now that might be one that you have as well. And he says his favorite ride as a kid was Bayern's Curve, which he said it's a bobslide simulation kind of ride. I don't remember that one. Oh, I wonder if that's the one that kind of went around in circles like this. And you know what I mean? You went upside down.
I don't remember ever riding it.
Yeah, no. I can imagine that one. But yeah, Kings Island had like actors like that one on the train. I remember that, that they would act stuff out as you went through the park. What do you got next there, Captain Tom?
You mean after? Okay, I got Sue was another previous contributor.
Thank you, Sue.
My childhood memories are from Coney Island, like Nancy.
Okay, Nancy said. Okay,
but she goes on. But Kings Island memories are from going to the concerts at Timberwolf.
Yeah,
Timberwolf, just for those that don't know, is a venue where they had concerts, and if you had a pass, if you bought a Kings Island pass,
okay,
you could then buy tickets to these concerts for $5.
Really?
With your
Wow.
My oldest brother and I had passes back in the day, and we did that. Got to see James Taylor a couple times.
Oh wow! How cool is that? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sue goes on about it says the concerts at Timberwolf, lots of good times. My favorite roller coaster was the King Cobra.
Love that.
But have always loved the Beast.
Now, I got a question for you, Captain Tom.
Sure.
I know you rode. Were you ever able to ride the King Cobra?
Yes, sir, I was.
Oh my gosh, the King Cobra. So for those who don't know, the King Cobra was a stand-up roller coaster.
Yes,
it was amazing.
And they had I don't even know if it was a bicycle type of seat.
Yes.
But when you got off that puppy, it was like somebody giving you a wedgie.
Right.
Say. But
so I feel like you and I probably rode that ride as well.
We probably did.
Yes.
Back in those days, I did have better mobility.
Sure.
I could stand. I used to be able to halfway walk, halfway crawl up steps.
Yeah.
I've been, living with a disability all my life.
Right. You were able to ride that, yeah.
And it wasn't until recent years that my mobility got
Sure, it went. Now, so the King Cobra was great.
And the neat thing was, and I don't know whatever happened to this picture, but the first time I got on the King Cobra,
okay,
they helped me on the King Cobra, right?
Yeah.
And I get off this ride, and they put me in my wheelchair, and this guy come up to me from Toledo, Ohio,
okay,
and said, "I took your picture of them getting you on this ride.
No way.
If you give me your address, I'll mail it to you. And I did, and he did. But I had the picture
No way.
of these guys, helping me get onto the because my legs work a lot better then.
Yeah.
But it was some guy from I don't remember the guy's name, but shout out to anybody in Toledo that can remember that. If they ever see this,
right.
But that was the first time that was the picture of the first time I got on that ride.
Now, you know what's funny is I wonder if I am also in that picture of somebody standing by.
I'm not
who knows?
Sure, because
That's
all I saw in it was the guys helping me, and it was before.
Yeah.
What would have happened is they would have put me on there, and then whoever was with me would have gotten on the ride and
right
next to me.
Gotcha. All right, so real quick before we move on to the next ones, I will say real quick. So the King Cobra, like Captain Tom said, it was a stand-up roller coaster. They had a bicycle seat. There was a lap bar that went across your waist, and then there was these ones that went across your chest. Both sides.
They didn't go this way. They went over your head.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they came together like this. And, I mean, you were not moving. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
But this ride had, it had a loop.
Yes.
It had, you would go like this, and you would go almost horizontal.
Well,
around this way.
I know this is we're talking about roller coasters though.
Yeah.
They had one called the Bat at one time.
Yes, and we rode that you suspended from the track.
And that the cars would go like swing back and forth. And if you shifted your weight when it hit a certain way, you could hold that. It would hold that thing until you went the other direction.
Which is probably why they had to tear it down. No, so real quick again.
So it's no longer there then.
Well, that Bat is not. However, they built a ride and they called it Top Gun, which is very similar. It was suspended.
I never got to see that.
I know, but it was suspended from the track like the Bat. They have since renamed it the Bat.
Really?
Yes. So
I have a fun fact about the Bat.
Fun fact from producer CJ. What we got here?
So when the Bat after the Bat was demolished, they kept some stone columns from it, and what replaced the Bat was actually the Vortex.
Yes.
And
right.
That sounds right. In that area. Yep.
Even with the Vortex being there was still some not support beams, but like the concrete pads that
pieces of the Bat.
Yes, well, the concrete support that you would see in the ground that would hold like a post or something. Yes, they were still there. It was crazy. Now the reason, so back to the King Cobra, and by the way, thank you for that information, producer CJ. But the King Cobra, the only reason that they had to get rid of that is because the company that made the King Cobra, because that's where they got the parts for maintenance. Yeah. It was unique for that ride. That company went out of business, so they could no longer get parts for doing the maintenance.
All right.
Itself. So Patrick, Patrick has I believe he has contributed in the past. Now here we go with the Timberwolf thing again. He says I was there with 3 other friends. And the band, there was a band called Flock of Seagulls. I don't know who that is. They were playing at Timberwolf. He said, make a long story short, we ended up riding the Beast with the band. So,
how cool would that be?
Yeah, how cool is that? All right, what you got next there, Captain Tom?
Okay, let me see which one. I guess I'm on Christine.
Okay.
Who said, I loved everything about Kings Island except for the long lines. Well, Miss Christine, I can tell you where you made your mistake.
Uh-oh.
You should have had somebody that was disabled with you, and you could have gone up the exits or the designated sections and ride not just once but twice through on a lot of rides. So that's the way we did it all the time.
See, there you go.
But I sympathize with your comment.
Yes.
Because I can imagine having to stand in those lines.
Well, imagine, okay, so,
like the Beast, I don't know. I know I've never been through the regular line.
Yes.
But I've seen the regular line, and in the line for the Beast, and I would imagine if it's still there today, I don't know. But they had like a lemonade stand.
Oh yeah.
While you're in the line,
Right.
so you could get something to drink. Because
Yeah, you had
you
to.
know sometimes it gets hotter than all blue blazes out there.
So just to let our fans know, like when the Beast first came out, even after it was around for about a decade, well, there was only so many other rides that one can get on. So yeah,
Right.
the line for the Beast was always, because it was a popular ride.
Oh yeah.
It still is. Now there are a lot more big roller coasters that people get on. So the line for the Beast isn't always that bad. However, there are still times when it is out on the blacktop, not where they have like the turnstiles. I mean, it's still decent size.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You can get hot in Kings Island.
Oh yeah. Now Shannon, who has also contributed in the past, Shannon says, no favorite, but here's a funny story. She says she went with her friends in high school, and they were so busy yapping that they didn't pay attention to where they parked, and they wandered around the parking lot for an hour looking for the lost car afterwards.
Oh.
How funny is that?
Yeah, just
Now-
real quick, just so you know, the people that don't know, the parking lot back when I remember it,
Sure.
was marked with different cartoon character names,
Still the same.
and if you
Similar.
remember that you parked in Scooby Doo or
Yes.
Fred Flintstone or
Yes.
whatever was out there, so.
Well, it's still the same, but they also have numbers too. So, like when I would go with my kids, we say, "All right, we got to remember we're in aisle 11." You know what I mean? Just remember we're in aisle 11. I'm gonna do one more before you do it. Do you have any more on your list? I think you do.
I
right?
got
Couple more.
Couple more. here,
Okay.
yeah.
Rob, and he has contributed before. Now we mentioned this one here. CJ, our producer, mentioned the Vortex when it first opened. And then he also says seeing Star Trek people walking around when Paramount was the owner.
Oh yeah, I love
So-
them too.
Vortex was a ride that was the first of its kind. It had the most, correct me, CJ, Vortex had like the most inversions where you're upside down or whatever of
You're-
any kind of roller coaster.
They had like a corkscrew.
Oh yeah, they had loops, they had
loop.
corkscrews, they had all kinds of stuff. And I remember, so that first came out in showing my age a little bit, but it first came out in 1987. And they just recently, probably within the past few years, again, it just kind of, it's not that it wasn't a good ride, but sometimes certain rides reach their life expectancy. And that ride simply reached its life expectancy.
It was also sinking.
Was it
It
sinking?
was slightly sinking.
I did not know that. But so
Sinking,
like a little bit, like in the,
like in the ground. Wow.
drop, yeah. But so it's no longer there, which is fine. I have some great pictures on the Vortex. I have great memories of the Vortex. What do you got next there?
Okay.
Tom?
Well, the next one's going to be quick.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, I love the Santa.
I don't know if this is a.
He's a neighbor. Yeah.
He's a neighbor of
Friend,
yours. but
neighbor.
Was he a contributor before?
He has, yes. John has
Well, this
contributed.
is John. All he simply says is leaving it, and I imagine he means leaving the park at the end of the day. It doesn't elaborate on anything.
Must have,
but,
yeah. I would say, this is my assumption, is that the majority of John's time going to Kings Island was probably where he had his kids with him. All right. So not when he was a kid, obviously. Okay. So he would have gone to like Coney Island or something. But, so that's probably where he's coming with that because, when you bring your kids there, it can be a bit challenging. You got a lot going on. You're spending a lot of money. You got to feed them. Then some kids are like, I'm afraid of roller coasters. The other kids are like, I want to get on. And then you got the lines you got to wait in.
And then you got
So-
those. Some kids couldn't get on because they weren't tall enough.
Exactly. Yeah. And
type
some
of
kids
thing.
were tall enough. Yeah, exactly. I got one here. Kevin, first time contributor. Hey, thanks, Kevin. Kevin simply says, again, we got another one here. He says Smurfs, but he also mentions King Cobra. He says Smurfs and King Cobra. And again, that was a popular ride. And hated to see it go away. Did you have any more?
Well, there's a Julie.
Okay. First time contributor, Julie. Okay.
First time contributor. Okay. She says, and I think we mentioned this ride before.
Okay.
She says the snails on the Enchanted Voyage singing "Happy, Have a Happy Day."
Now, Bill mentioned the Enchanted Voyage as well. I don't
Yeah.
remember the song, Have a Happy Day.
I don't either.
You know, however, that was an enjoyable ride, especially when you were a kid, simply
Yeah.
because, you know, it was indoors.
Right.
It was air conditioned. You were on a boat, you know, in the water
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And, you know, it was just kind of a fun. And for a kid, seeing all this animated
Yeah.
stuff, you know, like, how you say, life-size puppets doing their thing, or just
or
whatever.
whatever they were, yeah, and they'd pop out at you, and
Yeah.
some of them, and
Now-
and back in the day, they were Hanna-Barbera characters.
Yes. Now I have. So I know in our previous, you had mentioned some of the fun times you had. Okay. Now for me, you know, the question is, fun experiences that I remember at Kings Island. So first of all, you know, taking my kids to
Yeah.
Kings Island for the now. Real quick story. You mentioned the Eiffel Tower,
Right,
and that you could go to the top of it and see the whole park.
right,
So my oldest child, Josh, I took him to Kings Island for his first time. He was probably 7 years old.
okay.
And
So this was like in the 90s?
so late, around in the 90s. Let's just say the 90s. He was 7 years old, but he was nervous
Okay.
about the roller coasters. Now, there's a roller coaster called the Racer. It's fun. It's old. It's been around for decades.
Yeah, that's that racer, there's a story I can tell if you don't mind.
Real quick. All right, go ahead.
The racer, you mentioned the racer,
Mhm.
they took the
Design
roller
of it?
coaster
Okay.
from Coney.
Okay.
It was called the Shooting Star.
Gotcha.
That became the Twin Racer.
Oh wow! So it's not like, so the Racer is fun, but it's not like the scariest roller coaster. But it's just a fun roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know, it's not very high on the hill, stuff like that. But to a 7-year-old, it looks he's like, whoa! I don't want to do that. So what I did, I took him to the top of the Eiffel Tower. I said, hey, let's just go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. You'll like that, you know. So we get up there. Now from that viewpoint, now keep in mind the Eiffel Tower is about 300 feet up. Okay.
Or more, but I don't know exactly.
But when you look down on the roller coasters, it doesn't look that bad.
Right.
So he looked down and he goes, oh, okay, not so bad. So we go down, we get in line, we get on the Racer. Now here's the funny part. All right. So we go down the first hill, and, you know, it's not a very steep hill. But my 7-year-old at the time.
And it's not a very fast roller coaster.
No, it's not fast. It's not steep, but it's fun. But the first hill, literally, his mouth is wide open. He's trying to scream, but nothing is coming out. He's going like, you know, nothing's coming out.
Kid.
All right, producer CJ, we're going to show some pics of some of my other favorite memories. So the first pic, okay, is it's with me and producer CJ. All right. And I showed you the pic earlier, Captain Tom, right?
Yeah.
So this is me and producer CJ, and we're on a ride called the Mystic Timbers. It's a wooden roller coaster. And we knew where the camera was to take our picture. So here we are playing a friendly game of Uno, going down, you know, and it was just a fun thing we did, you know. And but the next one, so I have a child, her name, and actually, hint, hint, clue, clue. She has agreed to come on as a special guest, but that's another story.
Cool.
But there's a picture of me and Abby. The first time, I believe it's the first time I took her on the Beast. And if you look at her face, she's all like, ah, you know what I mean? Although with her, I think something was probably coming out of her mouth, unlike her older brother, you know, where he was so scared, you know, like nothing was coming out, you know. But you know, those are some of my, thank you, producer CJ. You know, those are some of my favorite memories. The ones, you know, going with the kids. You know, as a teenager, you do teenage stuff, right? You know, you know, in my case, you go there, you're a teenager, you try to meet a girl or something like, or maybe you go there with some friends, or you as an example, you know. But
last minute submission.
last minute submission. What we got here?
Peggy from 1 minute ago says Enchanted Voyage.
Oh, Peggy with a last minute submission. She says
liked the Enchanted Voyage as well.
Wow, so that's the third person, right, that said Enchanted Voyage? Is that right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, 3 people have said
But
Enchanted Voyage.
I kind of remember the Enchanted Voyage, but not some of the stuff they're talking about.
Yeah. Now,
They could have changed the inside since I was there.
Right,
You
yeah.
know.
I tell you what, as a grown up, I enjoy going next to this air conditioning. You know what I mean? Because get out of the sun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Peggy, for contributing. Peggy, by the way, is also a neighbor. She lives on our street.
We're surrounded.
What's that?
I said we're surrounded.
Yeah, we're surrounded by neighbors. No, just kidding. But anyway, thank you for contributing, Peggy. We greatly appreciate it. All right, so that is coming to the conclusion of this particular episode. Now, this next episode that we have, Captain Tom, and I wanted to say real quick, you know how you talk about, Coney Island. Coney Island had the largest recirculating pool, like in the world, at least in the United States. Sunlight Pool, you remember that as well as part of Coney Island. Coney Island hasn't had rides actually in 5-6 years or whatever. Maybe a little bit more.
Now it's no longer.
No, it's no longer. It's
like.
Well, the thing is that I guess they just didn't get as many people visiting.
The thing about Coney,
yeah,
was, and you got to remember the era,
right,
that it was something cheap.
Yes,
for people to do.
It was more inexpensive.
Your grandparents.
Okay.
Your grandfather, back in those days before, I mean, this was,
Yeah.
they were at Coney Island one time the day I was being born.
Sure.
But, at least that's what I was told. When my siblings were younger, my father worked for a bread company.
Yep.
And I think it was either a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and that's what Nancy was talking about.
Okay.
Going to Coney. They would go to Coney, and right next to the Coney Island was a place now called Belterra.
Yeah, it was a racetrack.
Back then was called River Downs.
Yes.
My dad would go to River Downs. My mom would have the kids. I mean, I would be told how truthful this is, I don't know. She would get each kid $1 each.
Okay.
And that would last them the evening.
Wow.
This is how cheap everything was.
Wow.
So but then my dad would get done doing it at the racetrack and then meet up at Coney, and they'd have dinner at Coney and then pack the kids back up and go home.
Hey, real quick before we move on, before we conclude our topic today, my grandma, your mom, who used to go to the race, she took me to that racetrack one time.
Yeah.
It was just her and I. And I actually won. Well, it wasn't me. I wasn't old enough to actually bet. But I said, Grandma, I want to bet number 5. Number 5 won. And it was $20 or whatever.
Yeah. That's how your
fun.
grandpa did it.
Yeah, it was just fun.
He was a hunch better.
Gotcha. Okay.
Several times, real quick, when I was a child, he'd come home and hand me $1. And I'm like, what's this for? He'd go like, you gave me luck today.
Oh, wow.
Like, if he saw something with my name in the horse and it won, I'd get the $1. If it was one of my other siblings and they won, they'd get the $1.
So if there was a horse named Captain Tom, that's
well, there might be someday. Hey, just remember where you got it.
So we posed the question on the interwebs. I know I did. And I'm telling you, we got numerous people respond to this question. And I love it because it kind of took me down memory lane a little bit. So I asked the question out there, what was your first car? Okay. And we're going to talk about that in our next episode. It's a great conversation. I can't wait. We got a couple pictures, so I'm looking forward to that. So that concludes today's episode of the Tom and Jerry Experience. Like my mom always used to say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Y'all have a great one.
And I'd like to say, love you all, and I'll see you the next time.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks.